Genies, magical beings that grant wishes, have fascinated humans for centuries, conjuring images of boundless power and fantastical fortunes. But what if I told you the truth behind these myths is far stranger and much, much darker than most stories tell? Forget the cheerful, blue-skinned friend from the movies. The real story of the Djinn is a journey into ancient deserts, whispered warnings, and the very nature of temptation itself. The word Djinn originates in pre-Islamic Arabian folklore, long before it was adapted into Islamic tradition. These weren't simply servants trapped in lamps. They were a race of supernatural beings, created from a smokeless fire, who shared the world with humans. Unlike the playful genies of modern cartoons, Djinn were considered powerful, unpredictable, and morally complex. Just like humans, they could be good, evil, or somewhere in between. They were seen not as wish-granting slaves, but as a society of intelligent, often invisible entities living parallel to our own. In these ancient traditions, they weren't bound to grant wishes. Instead, they could possess people, cause mischief, or offer profound wisdom. They were forces of nature, spirits of the desert, embodying the untamable and mysterious aspects of the world. Ancient texts and oral traditions describe them living in tribes, having families, and following their own laws and beliefs. They were a part of the natural order, a reminder that humanity was not the only intelligent life on Earth, and that the unseen world held both wonders and dangers. To encounter a Djinn was a momentous and often perilous event. Legends from across the Middle East and beyond are filled with tales of the Djinn's incredible abilities. They were masters of illusion, capable of shape-shifting into animals, humans, or even monstrous forms. They could traverse vast distances in the blink of an eye, and were said to possess knowledge of hidden treasures and forgotten lore. The most famous power, of course, is wish-granting. But this concept often came with a heavy price. Many stories serve as warnings about wishes gone wrong, teaching that greed and unchecked desire lead to ruin. A man might wish for riches only to find himself buried alive under a mountain of gold. Another might wish for power only to become a tyrant hated by all and ultimately destroyed by his own ambition. These weren't just magical tales. They were reflections of human morality. The Djinn acted as a mirror, showing people the potential consequences of their deepest desires. They represented the chaotic, unpredictable forces of both nature and the human heart, demonstrating that true power lay not in having wishes granted, but in mastering one's own impulses and understanding the delicate balance of the world. Beyond the spectacle of their powers, the myths of Djinn are saturated with deep moral lessons and symbolism. They are, in essence, cautionary tales wrapped in the mystique of the supernatural. The lamp, so central to modern genie stories, symbolizes containment, the idea of bottling up immense power. But the act of rubbing the lamp and releasing the Djinn is a metaphor for unleashing one's own desires into the world. Will that desire bring fortune or chaos? The choice and the responsibility lies with the wisher. Djinn stories often explore the theme of temptation. They test the character of the protagonist, forcing them to confront their own greed, pride, and short-sightedness. The wisest figures in these tales are often not those who make grand wishes, but those who interact with the Djinn with respect, humility, and caution, or who outsmart them not with brute force but with cleverness and moral integrity. These myths serve as a timeless reminder that every action has a reaction, that power demands responsibility, and that our choices, big and small, have consequences that ripple out far beyond our immediate understanding. They teach us to be wary of easy solutions and to look within for strength rather than to an external magical force. Over time, the image of the Djinn has undergone a dramatic transformation, especially in Western culture. The complex, morally ambiguous spirit of ancient folklore has slowly been sanitized and simplified. This evolution began with translations of 1001 Nights, where the tales were often adapted for a new audience, softening the darker, more philosophical edges. The most significant shift, however, came with modern entertainment. From I Dream of Genie to Disney's Aladdin, the Djinn was reimagined as a friendly, often comical servant whose primary role is wish fulfillment. The dangerous, unpredictable nature was replaced with a desire for freedom and friendship. While these interpretations brought the concept of the genie to a global audience and are beloved in their own right, they have moved far from the original myths. The modern genie is a story about achieving your dreams. while the ancient Djinn was a story about the dangers of those dreams. The original tales were darker, more mystical, and profoundly philosophical, warning humanity about the seductive nature of desire, the weight of ambition, and the vast unseen world that exists just beyond the veil of our perception. The enduring myths of the Djinn remind us of a timeless truth. Magic is never without consequence, and great power always comes with a hidden cost. They challenge us to look beyond the surface of the stories we think we know and to find the deeper wisdom they contain. For more ancient wisdom, forgotten morality lessons, and the mystical secrets behind the world's greatest legends, subscribe to Whispers of Myth. Thank you for watching. Join us next time as we uncover the hidden truths behind the myths you thought you knew.